What's up, everybody? My name is Justin, and I'm here today with my beautiful girlfriend Ashley, and this is another episode of Whiskey Tears. On today's video, we're doing a very special that she got just for us. This is the Oak and Eden Coffee Steeped Oak review. Okay, so she got me this bottle because she hates whiskey and she has been trying to get more involved with something I love, which is very nice of her, very kind of her. So she loves coffee, so she thought she would maybe get something that we can both enjoy. So this is my first ever bottle of Oak and Eden, and it is finished with a coffee stave in the bottle. So Bourbon and Brew, it is called, a bourbon whiskey finished with a coffee-soaked French oak spiral. It's coming in at 90 proof. In this limited release collaboration with West Oak Coffee, we finished our bourbon with a toasted spire that had soaked in a single origin cold brew coffee from the Dalugua farm in Colombia, creating a smooth balance between bourbon and coffee. So we're gonna see, is this any good? Does it have any coffee notes in it today? I'm gonna try it. We're gonna rate it on the tier system. She's gonna try it and see if she doesn't hate it. All right, let's get the nosing straight out of the bottle. It has been open for quite some time, and we tried a little bit like a month or two ago, but I really don't remember it at all. See, she's hoping for more of a coffee smell, but I smell a ton of coffee, probably because I'm so used to doing just straight whiskey. So we're gonna pour some in the glasses today and try it out. Hey, if you guys haven't done so already, do me one big favor. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. It's absolutely free for you. It means a lot for me/us. And if you really wanna help support the channel, support this beautiful lady right here, go ahead and hit that join button down below. All right, let's go ahead, babe. We're gonna swirl these around a little bit and we're gonna get the nosing out of the glass with that coffee stave in there. It is super dark color. I don't know how well it's showing up because we're videoing outside tonight on the back deck. It's raining a little bit outside, so we got some super dark color. I don't know how well it's gonna show up, especially with my bright ash shirt, but super dark color. All right, you remember how to nose this? You remember how to do this?
Kind of. I think one time you told me to keep my mouth open when I
so
go to like breathe in. Ooh, it always makes my nose tingle.
It makes your nose tingle? Yeah, well, it's only a 90 proofer, but that's still a good amount of
I did
alcohol.
that so that I could potentially tolerate it versus those 100-somethings you give me.
Oh, did they have options that were higher
Yeah, I think
proof?
the other option was like 114. They had two options.
She doesn't know me at all.
No, I do. I was trying to help myself.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. All right, well, let's see first if you can get anything on the nose. What are you smelling when you smell this one?
This makes my nose tingle.
So I'm getting like a burnt cherry with maybe some coffee hints in there. Not as much coffee as I was getting out of the bottle, but it's like a burnt cherry. Do you smell that at all when you smell it?
I just smell that alcohol smell.
Yeah. It's maybe, you know what coffee that I think I'm getting on the nose is like if you've had a coffee that sat out for a while and then you reheat it.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's
bad.
That's the coffee note that I'm getting out of this. It's like a reheated old stale coffee is what I'm getting a little bit with some burnt cherry in there.
Picked a real winner.
Well, that doesn't mean it's not going to taste good. It just could be a little bit strange on the nose because it's hard to see out there, but there's actually a spiral of wood in the bottle where that was soaked in like some kind of cold brew coffee. It's got almost like a medicinal note to it too.
I don't smell that, but I will say I can actually smell this better than I can smell some of the other ones. I think because it's lower proof.
You can smell it better, but you don't know what you're smelling.
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know that makes sense, but it's a thing.
So it just doesn't burn you as much when you're smelling it, basically.
Yeah, maybe I can say
okay.
I can tolerate the smell better.
That's fair enough. All right, well, we're going to try it today, everybody, and we're going to rank it on the tier system. Cheers, babe. Good luck.
Thanks. It didn't kill me.
Didn't kill her. Well, that's good.
It was... Oh, I kind of feel it going down now.
I don't feel it at all going down. That's definitely a 90 proofer.
It took me a second, now I feel it going down a
So
little
for
bit.
me, I got to go back in for the initial tasting notes, but it definitely finishes. It leaves you with a finish of coffee, like a fresh ground coffee is what
I do kind of have that left over right now.
Yeah,
Not
that's
when
what
I
you
first
get.
sipped it.
Right, not on the first sip, but the finish leaves you with like a fresh ground coffee kind of note in your mouth, for sure. So up front, it's like a bittery orange wood. No?
I didn't get that.
For me, it's like a bittery orange wood up front. So I don't love the initial taste of it, but I do like how it finishes with those coffee notes. That's probably the most interesting part of this. So I'm not a huge fan of the nose. I'm not a huge fan of the initial taste, but I really like the finish on this. Babe, are you able to get any notes on there other than alcohol?
Okay, so my second sip, I left it in my mouth for a second before I actually swallowed it, which I normally don't do. Try to get it done and over with.
Normally gets it right down.
Dumb. And I feel like I tasted a little bit of sweetness. I can't tell you what the sweetness was, but I feel like I had a little bit of a sweetness that came through. Then after I swallow it, I feel like I do taste a little bit of the coffee.
All right, so we're making a little bit of headway. So is this something you would ever drink willingly? It's a no.
If you were like, hey, let's try to make more progress on you liking whiskey, I'd be like, let's try this bottle for me.
Okay.
But I don't say that I would go for it if it was like, hey, let's have a drink tonight.
So you think this is like a good bottle of someone trying to get into it?
Yes.
Okay.
If they like coffee.
That's fair enough. Well, yes, you have to definitely like coffee for this. But Oak and Eden has all kinds of different stave profiles that you can get. I think you customize this one, right?
Yeah, and they had a honey one that I almost got you because I know you really like the honey finish stuff. But I was trying to go for something that I could more get into this with you. Yeah. So that's why I went with coffee, because I like that better.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's very interesting, and obviously with the wood stave continually in the bottle, it will probably continue to change at least a little bit over time, and especially once you drink some of it down and go from there. But yeah, it's not. Let me think about how I want to say this. Let me take a drink and think about this. It's definitely not up the alley of like a classic bourbon, but it's not meant to be. The nose is kind of mediocre. The initial taste I don't love, but I really do like the finish. So I'm trying to think about where I would rate this thing on the tier system today, because it's interesting, because I don't know if I would love to sip this by itself. It might be good on the rocks. Maybe it would help take a little bit of that bitteriness away that it has up front. But I don't know if this is something that I would drink like just by itself. But I could see this being really good in some kind of like milk or coffee based drink. Like if you were making like, what are those, like the martinis that have like the chocolate martini or the coffee martini or something like that, or you're making,
I was thinking about one of those Irish coffees.
Yeah, an
like
Irish
doing
coffee.
it in an Irish coffee.
Yeah, anything along those lines, hot or cold. I'm leaning towards more of a cold one for this one, because I think the bitteriness would get mellowed out by some of those like base notes of like something that had some milkiness to it. So that's why I'm thinking more something like that. Like if you just had a straight iced coffee and you wanted to make that iced coffee alcoholic, I think you could pour this in and that would complement it really well. But on its own, I don't think it's something that I would really drink by itself. What do you think about mixing it? Yes, no?
Yes, I think that's maybe the way I should try to get into this more.
Yeah, start doing
like something like this, and then mix it with something I already love, which is cold brew coffee, and then go from there.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one, because on the tier system today, I am going to rank it, but it's going to be like a little bit of a caveat, because it's going to sound like a bad ranking, because I'm going to put this officially on the D tier. It's going to go down on the D tier, which is the mixed drink quality, but I think this has the potential to be like a really good mixed drink. So maybe sometime in the future we will make a video about trying to make some kind of coffee mixed drink with this, and we'll see how it goes. So overall, it's going to go on the D tier for me, just because it's not something that I would drink by itself. Got a really good finish on it with those coffee notes, but just everything else not that great. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love any whiskey yet, so it is what it is, but it's more tolerable than any of the ones that I've had so far.
So you think D tier is good?
Yeah.
So she likes the D. All right, thank you everybody for showing up today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you for your next drink.